I mean, was anyone here virgin on their wedding night? Anyone? No? Okay. So why do we? I think there's like a sliding horse scale. There's women that completely suppress the sex drive for a period of time and then usually crash out. Those are usually the women that are more weird. Then there's the mid body count. I mean, those are women that just have sex with hot guys when they want to until they get burned too many times and then, crash out. Then there's the women that are high sex drive and they will bang anything. They'll run through cities. So, I mean, I'm not saying they ran through a city, but you're not gonna, how do I put this? You're not gonna signal purity to me. That's where I'm going with this. You are not gonna signal, because if they had any resemblance of a traditional woman, they'd give up some of their leverage, right? They wouldn't require, really, the women are more traditional that don't require marriage, in my opinion, because that's actually a patriarchal relationship. Because the man has the leverage. Women that require you to sign paperwork, that she's saying, I need leverage. So anyways, I just saw this take of this video and I was like, thank you so much, Brett. Thank you. You have given me another thing to start my show with today. So I appreciate it. But we're gonna get into this. Now remember, this woman just gave birth to a baby. Isn't that crazy? The trad e-girls, they're like, you're like, do you want to spend time with your kids? They're like, no. Sorry. They're like, no, I must work. I must. But I need to LARP as conservative, but I must work, which is fine. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I don't think you should get any trad points. That's my point. The YouTube channel cancels out traditionalism. Now you get 0. You get 0. Oh my gosh, I didn't share my screen. I did not share my screen. Okay, well, Brett barely was talking about anything, so you guys didn't miss much. Forgot to share my screen. Women, right? It's like, this show is getting too real. Please subscribe to theaudacitynetwork.com. I don't know how long this can go on. I don't know how long I can be this real. They're going to kick me off. Oh, you and your wife met at Crystal Lake High School? Cool. Very cool. I know where that's at.
Did a meme from Gossip Girl of Leighton Meester, and she said, y'all really want to get married and have sex with the same person for the rest of your life?
Now, again, so she's going to virtue signal. She's going to do something to signal. But I got married and I now remember, all the women have been married less than 5 years. We cannot predict what is going to happen to them in the future. So getting married really is just a promise. I promise that we will stay together forever. Now, in the past, it might have had some weight, but in 2025, it means nothing. I don't care if you're right or left. The promise means nothing because women, and you'll see the women that even Brett associates with and Candace, some of them are terrible women, right? I mean, Michaela Peterson, she's got herpes. I'm not trying to be mean here. A lot of people do. You might have just taken an L. But I mean, or I'll clarify so I don't get sued. She tweeted her medication list that had herpes medication on for it. I don't know, but it's not like the married trad women are like, I will only associate with married women. No. And they back up. They'll always take the female side. That's why, Brett Cooper, whenever she sees something innately masculine that benefits men, she crashes out a little bit with a smile. Right. But I was watching this video and I just couldn't believe how stupid this take was. And Brett, I got to be honest, when you do journalism and reporting, we're coming into a man's world. So we're open to criticism, right? You can be critiqued. So a lot of times what happens is women, they go on the internet, but they're not strong enough to be on the internet. And they play victim. They're like, oh, I can't believe I got this criticism. Well, you could be raising kids, but we all know women are not going to do that. We all know women will not do that. We know.
All capital letters, the audacity, the insanity. And so that was posted on October 5th, and it has a whopping 20 million views, 20 million impressions on X. And obviously I looked at that and I kind of laughed. I saw it before it really took off. I think she was maybe posting it in regards to the Taylor Swift discourse with her getting engaged and her new album, all of that stuff. But Gina Florio, who I adore, she wrote a great piece about this post in particular for EV Magazine, where she laid out the argument for commitment, for marriage, and she titled it, Is It Boring?
Okay, so again, so women, what they're going to do is they're going to confuse you. So they're going to gaslight. So is it boring to sleep with one person for the rest of your life? And they're going to virtue signal and they're going to say, no, it's not boring. The sex is better. Here are these studies. And then you ask the question where the rubber meets the road. And you say, were you a virgin on your wedding night? And then it's like, dot, dot, dot. You know what? I need to pull, I'm going to pull this up this last time I asked this. Back in 2023, I was put on a government watch list for speaking out about men's issues. The government spent who knows how much money trying to shut me up. And honestly, to some extent, it worked. I was demonetized on YouTube. I had 3 Instagram accounts deleted, 7 TikToks accounts wiped out, and I was forced to delete 3 years worth of work, videos, interviews, everything. The more honest I was, the harder I was punished. And eventually, I had to shut down my show, move back home, and completely start over. But I'm not giving up. This time, we're doing things differently. I've created my own app, a space where free speech actually means free speech. On this app, you'll not only get access to all my old content, but you'll also help shape our future documentaries and show topics. For just $10 a month, you're not only supporting me, you're supporting a movement, a network that refuses to be silenced. The link is in the description. Join us and be a part of something that fights back against censorship. Now, let's talk bigger picture. Why don't we have true free speech in America anymore? Welcome to the female economy, where women make 80% of consumer buying decisions. Have you ever wondered why women always seem to get their way? Well, here's the truth. Men tend to care about the free flow of ideas. Men can separate an idea from the person who said it. But women, on the other hand, have learned that they can control what gets said by controlling what gets funded. Platforms like YouTube have one goal. They want to make money. And if that means catering to the majority female audience, they will. That's why being a conservative creator today feels impossible. This isn't just about me, it's about the future of online speech. With the Audacity Network, me and my community will never have to worry about being silenced again. Pearly things, virgin, wedding night. We're like, because men care about actions, women care about like saying things that look good. So again, when the rubber meets the road, and you're like, hey, so did you do the thing? Did you? I mean, if you really, and what they'll do to trick simps, right? The trick simps, what they'll do is they'll play innocent. They'll be like, oh, he just used me. Oh, well, if you really wanted to be a virgin, you would require it for, actions speak louder than words, And I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, Pearl's bitter. I'm not really a bitter person, right? I could see why I would come across that way. But I think I'm autistic to some level, and maybe not actually, because, I don't want to claim that. But I really hate when people say things that aren't accurate. I get this like gut feeling where I'm just like, my stomach is hurting. I'm like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? And so when I see women that are saying, that are trying to claim purity, but, weren't, I don't like this gaslighting. It just annoys me. And it's nothing personal against the women. But if you're going to come at red pill topics and say they're wrong or claim purity, then I got to hold your feet to the fire, because this is my domain. This is where I live. This is where I live. So, you could say if you want to believe that, I don't know why you're here. Why would you want to hear from a bitter woman? Hold on. There's this, oh my gosh, the funniest clip. This is still the funniest clip of my career. I just can't. This was the funniest. Oh, this was so fun. About sex outside of marriage, that sort of thing. But let's not play pretend. 3% of people are waiting till they're married. That's not really common. I mean, was anyone here virgin on their wedding night? Anyone? No? Okay. So why do we... Sorry. So yeah, you got Lauren Chen, she got married young, but again, she's still podcasting. She's still streaming until she got caught taking Russia money. Nothing against her, right? But you're not what you say you are. You're not. And that's what I'm kind of going towards. you guys could just stick to the facts, right, of the case, but you make your personal life your brand, you know? So if you do that, you know, Brett, if you make an editorial about your wedding, which could be personal, which you know, I'm not saying it should be, but when you make it public, to me, I'm like, oh, you don't care about God. You don't care about traditionalism. You care about building your brand. And that's totally fine. I think at times there's marriages that are pragmatic. I think historically people cared about merging together. I don't know, like, what do you call it? Like countries would get together and, you know, people get married for political reasons and socioeconomic reasons. I'm not faulting that. I'm not even saying you're wrong. But what I'm saying is what you say you are, you're not. And that's where I get annoyed. What you're pushing is not even something that you can do. I pretend. All right. So it's like, yeah, and I got to go through. And I want you guys to know this is not an attack. This is not an attack. This is not an attack. But if you look at the facts, you know, Rachel's been divorced. I'm over 25. You know, I didn't marry young. Moody's got some stuff in her past too that, you know, resurfaced on the internet. I'm not going to go into it. Chen, you know, Chen, the only one with a clean record, she still waited like 5 years to have a kid after being married. So, okay, you're taking some kind of birth control, which is fine. I'm not, whatever. But it's just, okay. Come on. Like, I just want to be real with what's going on here, you know?
Oh,